pulling the rope. In this technique, we defend against a right hand cross grab, meaning his right hand is grabbing my right hand. To start, I start by putting my left hand over the top of his hand. You notice my thumb isn't wrapped around, the palm is just sitting on top. And what this does is it keeps him from letting go when I do my re-grab. So if I don't hold this here and I try and re-grab him, he's going to pull away. But if I hold my hand here and I re-grab, you can see I can get this grab here. And I re-grab by just circling my hand up and into his wrist like this. You see it kind of tweaks his shoulder a little bit if I do this hard. So we re-grab, and as I do that re-grab, I'm going to step forward with my left foot to give me some power so I can really give him a tug as I step back with the right foot and I pull him in like this. Now I'm going to right roundhouse kick to the ribs, step down, and chop the back of the head. If he resists and he pulls back so he stays upright and doesn't lean over, we can do the same technique. Come in here, pull, he pulls back, I pull myself into the kick, and then as I set down, my hand's going to come here, and I'm going to pull in to this chop. So I'm pulling between his wrist and his neck for the chop. So I'll demonstrate one more time, a little faster. We're going to go here, step forward, grab, pull in, kick, chop the head. Pounding drums. In this technique, we defend against a double-handed lapel grab, which means he's using both his hands to grab my shirt, your typical schoolyard bully tactic. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by pounding his eardrums. And you see right now, I can't really reach him very well, and so I'm going to step in, just to take a little step in, and get in here, and I'm going to slap his eardrums. And I want to use this flat part on the palm of my hand, because I want to build suction around his ear. You ever have your ear like suction on a couch or something, you know, where it sucks out? It hurts, right? So we're going to slap his eardrums and hopefully rupture them. And then we're going to take our hands and we're going to come around here and we're going to make a wedge. See, my hands are together. I'm making a wedge. And this wedge is going to shed his arms off to the sides. So I come up here and then I step forward with the right foot and I double palm strike to the chin, driving him forward. So we'll do that a little faster. It's going to grab me. I'm going to step forward. I'm going to break his eardrums, come up underneath, step forward again, and drive through to the chin with a double palm strike. Reverse slip strike. Just like slip strike, this is to evade a right hand punch. In slip strike, we step off to the right side and punch the face. In this scenario, we're going to step off to the left side. We're going to give it a little inward block, just a soft one right here by our heads with our palm. And we're going to come up and strike to the cheek or the neck with the ridge hand, depending on where this defending hand is. So it looks like this. Sword of Destruction. In Sword of Destruction, we defend against a left hand punch from a neutral stance. He throws the punch. I step back with my left foot. I'm going to inside outward block with my right hand. At this point, I'm going to kick to the groin, causing him to lean forward if it contacts. And now I can chop the back of the neck with my right hand. You'll notice that my inside outward block loads up for the chop. And that's why we do this instead of a regular outward block. Let's demonstrate it one more time. Aggressive twins. With aggressive twins, we're defending against a two-handed push to the chest or to the shoulders. So if he pushes me, maybe I let him push me once and I see what's happening. Then he pushes me again and I sweep the hands. Now it's important that you wait until they really get their weight into it before you sweep, because you want their momentum to go off to the side. And the reason why that is, go ahead and push, is that when he goes off to the side, it opens up his knee right here for the kick to the knee. And I want to do a knife edge kick right here on the side of the knee, just above the joint. And that's going to break the knee. And then my hands, because I swept, are already going to be down. So I'll chop up to the neck, standing back up again, and front thrust to the belly. Sweeping left. With sweeping left, we defend against a left front kick to our abdomen. We begin right side on guard. He throws the kick. I come back to a cat stance, and I sweep his leg. And I kick up here into the ribs, underneath the arm. We'll do it one more time. I'm right here. I'm on guard. Kick. Sweeping right. Sweeping right is similar to sweeping left in that we go back to a cat stance and we sweep the foot, but it's for a right kick instead of a left kick. So he goes and he throws that right kick. I sweep here. It opens up his groin. I snap kick to the groin. I'll show you one more time. I'm here. He throws the kick to the groin, and we're done. With the sweeping techniques, sweeping left and sweeping right, we can modify them to accommodate a higher kick. For instance, if I'm here and he throws a low left kick, the downward sweep works. But if he kicks higher, like to my face, guess what? I'm going to miss. So we can turn that into an inside block, and it still functions properly. Throw the kick, and I can still kick him. If he does the other foot, same thing works, and it still works. So you're welcome to modify this to accommodate the height of the kick. Sweeping throw. Like sweeping left and sweeping right, we're defending against a lower front kick to the body. This is for a left or right kick. It works the same. We'll begin by stepping back to cat stance and sweeping the leg. Now at this point, I'm going to step in with my right foot behind his right foot. Now the key here is to get in close. I want to make sure my hips are touching his hips. And after I sweep, my right hand is going to be on this side of his body. So I step through like this. Now I have a couple options depending on what he does with his upper body. I can raise my elbow and I can strike to the neck. Or I can take my hand and I can elbow in the solar plexus and wrap around here, around the body. I can even come down here around the hip and grab here to get this throw. So throw the kick one more time. He goes here, I sweep, I come here, and I throw him over. If I decide to go higher to the head, same thing, throw the kick, I come in here, I can come up here to the neck and still throw them over. Now the key to making this throw work is that your hips are in tight and you have to thrust your hips forward as you throw. So it picks his feet up. You see what happens to his leg? It picks up. So if you do it faster, you really can get their feet way up in the air. Rolling forward. With rolling forward, we're defending against an attack from behind that knocks us over, something we don't see coming. The tricky part about this is that we have to respond fairly blindly because by the time that we turn around and assess our opponent, it may be too late. So we're going to roll forward, turn around, and then just do the double-handed palm strike at whatever mass we can hit, preferably up underneath the chin. Let's give it a try. Rolling backward. Rolling backward is like rolling forward in that we get knocked down by an attack from our opponent. However, this is for a punch to the front or a strike to the front, a push, and we're going to roll backwards to protect our body. So one thing to note about the backwards roll is we need to remember that we only roll on one knee. I'll demonstrate. So as I squat down and I roll backwards, you'll see that just this knee touches. This knee is not on the ground. This knee will swing right up into the kneeling position. So I get here and it swings through. This knee does not set down first and then go up. And this is important for the speed we need to do the takedown, which is the single leg sweep, where we pick up the leg, step through, and drive our shoulder into the opponent. Let's demonstrate. Swinging through. In this technique, we're defending against a double-handed lapel grab that looks like this. My opponent has grabbed my shirt, and he's trying to push me around and bully me. So from here, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to reach over with my left hand and grab the right hand. So let's discuss how to properly grab the hand. So when he reaches out with his hand's going to be roughly at this angle. I'm going to take this hand, I'm going to start by slipping over his wrist and hooking here on the wrist, and then I'm going to slide it forward and wedge it into the material. So if you were to grab my lapel right here, I'm going to start here and I'm going to bring my hand up tight between his this part of his hand and the material here. So it's like this. And then I'm going to take my thumb, here, go ahead and let go. I'm going to take my thumb and try and wrap it over. I can wrap it over here, which is excellent. I can go around the entire hand if his hands are small. But for his size hand, I'm going to grab here on the wrist, slide up into that spot there. So I'm really getting a hold of the meat on the hand here. And I'm going to put my thumb right here between his thumb and his index finger. And this is going to give me a good grip so I can really manipulate the hand and it's not able to twist. So to demonstrate the technique, he's going to go ahead and grab me with a two-handed lapel grab. I'm going to reach over the top like this, just like we discussed. Left hand on top. And I'm going to pull down with my elbow. Now, when I pull down with my elbow here, the goal is to get his elbow to bend. And of course, if he resists, right, I'd have to be way, way stronger than him to be able to just push his elbow down right now. So the way we're going to generate the force to break this elbow down, not to break the elbow, to cause it to bend, is we're going to step straight back with the left foot like this. We're not going to step back in an arc, meaning we're going to be bladed with our opponent. We're going to come straight back so we have a nice wide base. Go ahead and grab. And then our right hand is going to come over the top like this. And this is almost like we're just punching this direction to give us a lot of force and throwing our weight so we really get him moving. Okay, and now from here, we have the option to chop to the neck. We have the option to hammer fist to the head, or if he's a bigger guy and we really can't move him very well, we can elbow right to the face or the side of the head, depending on where he's facing. However, when we demonstrate this move for the test, we're going to come over, trap, and we're going to show the chop to the neck and a follow through. And that's how we'll demonstrate that technique. Crossing behind. Crossing behind is a technique in which you utilize an X step to close the gap to reach your opponent with a side kick. So when you cross behind, your rear leg is going to go behind your front leg. Pretty simple, right? Now, when you do cross behind, you want to make sure that you cross far enough so that this foot here, my left foot in this scenario, is turned all the way facing this direction. If I don't cross far enough, and I'm here on guard, and I only go to here, you'll see that my foot is kind of facing this way, which makes it hard to throw the side kick because my hips aren't opened up, and I'll have to take an extra adjustment rotation to throw the kick. So when we cross behind, we're here, we come through with the X step, and our foot's turned all the way around so that we can set down and throw the kick. Crossing in front. Just like crossing behind, crossing in front utilizes an X step to close the gap between our opponent so we can throw a kick. Now we will be throwing a roundhouse with crossing in front instead of a side kick because the way that it positions our hips. With crossing in front, our hips are facing forward. With crossing behind, our hips are facing backward. Now because of the position of our hips, it also makes it harder to get this crossing foot to point away from us. With crossing behind, because our hips rotate backwards, we can easily make our crossing foot point directly away from our target to open up for the kick. However, with crossing in front, we'll find that our foot is more pointed this way as opposed to that way. And we do need to open up the hips before we can throw the roundhouse. So what we'll do is, we'll cross in front, leave the weight on the ball of our foot, and then rotate as we set the heel down. And then all we have to do once we get the rotation and the heel down is finish the kick. So it looks like this. Lunging kick. Lunging kick, just like crossing behind and crossing in front, is a way to close the gap before you kick. Now, it's much faster than a cross or an X step, but it doesn't have the same distance. You can cross behind very, very far, 5, 6 feet sometimes. With a lunge kick, you might get 2 or 3 feet out of it, but it's certainly enough just to get that extra few inches you need to make contact with your opponent. And it's very valuable. It's probably my favorite way to close the gap with a kick. And so with a lunge kick, your foot is going to be pointed away from your target, and all you do is just lunge, just like that. You don't want a bunch of vertical movement. You just want to keep your foot dragging across the ground and just slide it forward. It's almost like you lean into this way, and as you start to fall, you just shift your weight and catch yourself, and then throw the kick. So a lunge kick looks like this. Waterwheel. Waterwheel is an offensive technique that we can use in sparring or in a fight, in which I'm left side on guard and he's left side on guard. Now, the way that I'll begin this technique is by showing a back fist. Now, this could be a real back fist where I actually ball up my fist and try and hit him, or what I like to do is I like to just turn my palm facing him to make it a nice big target, and I just lift it up like this as I step in with a small adjustment step with the left foot. And he's naturally going to lift his hand up because, he doesn't know what's coming. It's just a big thing coming on his head. So now what I want to do is, as I'm here, I want to maintain pressure on his arm. Because if I do this technique and I relax, he's going to put his hand down. I want to make him feel like he needs to keep fighting me for power here so that his hand stays up and keeps this section open. So we'll go ahead and do that again here. And now I'm going to take another small adjustment step in, and I'm going to do a rising punch here as I begin pulling this hand down. And then when his hand is all the way down by my knee, come over the top and do an overhand strike to the back of the head. Now there's kind of a magic thing that happens here with this pull down. So you'll see that it's wrist on wrist at this point, or forearm on forearm. And now when I hook over the hand, I'm going to hook my fingers over the top first, and then I can hook my thumb after, but the goal is to get right here. And it's surprisingly easy when somebody's pushing this way against you to change their directions. And you can see his head kind of whips down. You'll see, it's pretty easy when you try it. So we're going to come up here, hook the hand, pull down, and I'm not going to pull out this way. I'm going to pull straight down to my knee here. That way he's coming down, overhand strike, and that's the move. So one time in completion, I show the hand, adjustment step in, strike to the ribs, pull down, overhand to the back of the head. Front knee break. Front knee break is an offensive technique in which I'm going to attack his front leg and then attempt to break his back leg. And so we do this by simply doing a sweep to the inside of the leg here, and you want to hit just above the knee. There's a nerve that runs through here. And I'll tell you what, it hurts getting hit there. So we're going to aim right above the knee, and then we're going to hook our toes behind his knee, pull forward, and then kick this back knee. So it looks like this. I throw the kick, pull forward, kick the knee. A little faster. Boom, just like that. Back knee break. Just like front knee break, the purpose of this technique is to break the knee on the rear leg. However, because he's facing on the opposite side on guard, I don't need to sweep and pull his foot forward. I just need to cause his knee to bend to get it out of the way. And so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to kick with my back leg, come around, kick the knee to bend it, lunge, and kick the back knee to break it. So it looks like this. Leg lock sweep. This technique is designed to take somebody down when you're fighting someone same side on guard. So what you'll do is you'll begin by lunging forward and putting your front foot right between his 2 feet. And then what you want to do is you want to slide this foot back so your knee pit is in contact with the back of their knee so that you can cause that knee to bend by simply dropping your heel to the ground. And then your right hand or your front hand is going to either come across his neck in the crook of the elbow or across his chest. I like to come across the neck because it hurts more. And then all you do is you just straighten out your foot as you push down and take him to the ground. So we'll do it one time a little faster. We're here, we're fighting. I step in and take him down. Broken friendship. This technique is an offensive technique to deal with an opponent that you feel threatened by that it happens to be shaking your hand. Now, it's not very often you'll have an opportunity to do this technique on a friendly person shaking your hand, but there may be a time in which you feel threatened and you're in this situation. So we begin in a neutral stance, just like we would casually do when we're shaking our hands. And first thing we're going to do is take our left hand and we're going to grab the back of their wrist and hand so they can't get away. We're going to hold it really tight. And then we're going to cross in front with our left foot. Now, when we cross in front, we want to make sure we get nice and low because we want to make sure that our shoulder is lower than their shoulder. Otherwise, we end up kind of trying to pick our hands way up and it becomes awkward for everybody. So we're going to get low, cross in front, spin, and get our weight forward. We don't want to be back because what might happen is if he resists, he's going to pull me backwards. And we don't want that to happen. So we're going to go here, get low, lean forward, and now make sure that we get the elbow past our shoulder. If we're here, we're not going to have any leverage to break the elbow. We got to pull them way up here. So the breaking point is past the elbow. We pull down, break the elbow, continue to lean forward, and rear kick back. So demonstrate one more time. Grab hands. First thing I do, grab the left hand, grab with the left hand to make sure we're secure. Get low, cross in front, keep our weight forward, pull down, rear kick, push them away. 3-6 escape. This is a technique that we use to attack our opponent and get away. This is something we use if we just want to get out of the fight and not deal with them. Please get away from me, sir, kind of thing. It mixes a classic boxing combo with a pushing kick to get out. So the way we'll do it, he's on guard, and the thing we got to watch out for is this left hand. Make sure it doesn't hit us. So when we come in, we're going to step with the right foot. We're going to do a hook punch around here. Now this hand is going to be up, defending against this hand, and we're also going to slip our head off the line a little bit so that if this hand comes in, we're off that line as we throw that punch. So we come here, go ahead and do that punch. Here we go, boom. He misses. And now this hand's going to come down, and I'm going to slip to this side of the line and do the uppercut. So our head movement has to be side to side. Left and then right as we do the punches. We step out, we throw a rear kick. So let's do it a little bit faster. Don't throw the punch this time. So we're going to come here, we step in, hook punch, punch, take an adjustment step back, push him away, and get out. Lunging set 1. This is a simple set of exercises that we can do to practice our lunging and our balance for our kicks. So remember that lunging, we're just like this, and we just slide our foot a few inches. You don't need to lunge 6 feet to do this exercise, just a little bit to work on the balance and control and the way that it feels to lunge. So the way that we'll do this is we'll be left side on guard. First thing we're going to do is a right leg inside snap kick. Then we're going to rotate, lunge, side kick, lunge, roundhouse, lunge, rear kick, set down, and then do the same on the left side.